Hello, 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 hello. Welcome once again to my vlog, where I vlog and talk and talk and talk about some more stuff. Whatever interests me at the moment. Yes, this is my first video of the new year, and I hope you had a great holiday season and a new year, and you're getting into the swing of things and making your New Year's resolutions that you can talk about, and hopefully they're going well if you've made them. I've never been one of those people that makes New Year's resolutions because I'm pretty much a big procrastinator who isn't really good at keeping anything going. So anyway, as you can tell by my once in a blue moon vlogging, I don't put up nearly as many videos as I would like for a whole bunch of reasons, which, you know, there's no point in me going over because I've gone over them before. So anyway, without further ado, this video is going to be a little bit long, so, you know, because I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. And if I was like really skilled and had a bunch of time and, you know, I could make a bunch of videos and put them up and have a whole bunch of videos, but I just really don't have that much time. So you get this once in a while long video. So here we go. I've got several things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Hope you're having a great day or night, depending upon, you know, whenever you're watching this video. What do I want to talk about on the vlog today? Well, first off, The Hobbit. I did get a chance to go see The Hobbit over the holiday season. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a really good movie. It's difficult to compare it to the main trilogy. This first segment I'm not quite liking as much as I did some of the other Lord of the Rings trilogy, but this was very good. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed, you know, Bilbo and the dwarves and Gandalf, and thought it went well. I really love the addition of Radagast. You know, that's one of those things, either you like that or you don't. I'm a Radagast fan, so yes, I did enjoy the addition of Radagast. There's a lot of good things to say. I like the dwarven song music. They've really ramped up the action, you know, more so than you would see in the books. The only thing that I really had a problem with as far as the action sequences would probably be their escape from the orcs there in the dungeon. They really had a ridiculously over elaborate slapstick fight scene, which was just a little bit over the top. I mean, you know, the ladders and falling down like way this chasm and having the big giant orc chieftain land on top of you. I mean, come on. I know they're hardy dwarves, but they're not going to survive that, okay? That's just, there's unrealistic, and then there's just like cartoon, okay? This was cartoony. That's probably about my only complaint of the movie, though. I really enjoyed the rest of it. I thought overall the acting was great. It was great to see a lot of the former cast members, you know, from the other movies. Gandalf, even Frodo makes a guest appearance, you know. And of course they had Elrond and Galadriel and Saruman. They had the whole White Council scene, and of course Radagast going to Gul'Dor, you know, adding a lot of material from the appendices and the other tales that were sort of happening during this time period, but it sort of fleshes it out. Now, of course, you know, if you're stretching The Hobbit into 3 movies, you've got to add this material to pad it out because, you know, there's really, it's not that long a book to make 3 movies out of the one book, but it's kind of interesting. There was one thing that I will say, though, and there was another reviewer who pointed it out, and it made me think. And I'll tell you, it was Jesu Aktu of That Guy with the Glasses. That's her website, thatguywiththeglasses.com. Look under Jesu Aktu. She made some really good comments that it was interesting that even though this was The Hobbit, the way Peter Jackson has at least done this first installment, it seems like the movie's actually about Gandalf. And that's an interesting thing, and I thought about that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's sort of scary in a way, because it sort of has fears of what, you know, George Lucas did to Star Wars, where you had the original trilogy, and you know, you think it's Luke Skywalker's adventure, and then he goes back and makes the 3 prequels, and then you find out that the 6 movies is not really about Luke Skywalker, it's really about Darth Vader. It's really about Anakin Skywalker. And so, whereas the books, you know, put forth that The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is this story about, mainly about 4 hobbits, you know, Frodo, Sam, well, 3 hobbits, Frodo, Sam, and Bilbo, sort of the everyman caught up in the larger-than-life struggles between good and evil, and, you know, how even the most humble of every man can, you know, shape the destiny of the world and, you know, play a larger role in a much bigger picture. Whereas that seemed to be the way they really focused in on all the stuff in this first Hobbit movie about Gandalf, it makes it wonder if Jackson has gone back and is sort of, well, this isn't the Hobbit story. This is the story about Gandalf and his battle against Sauron, you know, over the 6 movies. It's really Gandalf's story. Who's he, you know, manipulating to get into his larger storyline? It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the other 2 movies go. But I just thought that was something to think about and pause. But overall, I really like The Hobbit. I'm looking forward to the other sections, you know, with Smaug and, you know, the spiders and Mirkwood and barrel riding and all that fun stuff. So I really look forward to that. So got a chance to see that. What other movies have I seen lately? Batman Dark Knight Rises. Well, what can I say about The Dark Knight Rises? It was okay. It wasn't as good as I had hoped. Of the 3 Batman movies, I think it's the weakest of the 3, with, of course, the second one with Heath Ledger as the Joker being the best, and then the first one probably following second. The third movie, it just, the plot, and I tell you, the biggest thing was the whole plot story, because it really seemed contrived, and too many plot twists, and why are the characters having this motivation? I mean, it's one thing, yes, okay, Talia wants revenge on Bruce Wayne Batman for killing her father, but, you know, is that it? She's taken over his organization, you know, the animal rights loving crazies, and it just seemed like, because it appears in the movie that she was prepared to blow herself up with the nuclear bomb to get Batman. And I'm going like, you know, this could have been a lot less complex if it was just about getting back at Batman. But, you know, here you are. It doesn't appear that escape was your plan, that you were planning on blowing up with the bomb. But anyway. And so the plot was sort of overly convoluted. And it did have, you know, some pretty good scenes. It kind of dragged at the first. And sadly, some of the better roles were lessened. You know, Alfred had a much smaller part in this movie, and Michael Caine. and that was missed because he's a really good actor. And then even Commissioner Gordon's, was in a hospital bed most of the movie, so that sort of took him out, and he's another one of the big actors. I will say, of the movie as a whole, my favorite part of the movie was Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, who stole every single scene she was in. And it was probably one of the bright spots in the whole movie. So, I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I'd recommend you watching it, to finish out the trilogy. I'm glad I did. But it's the weakest of the three movies. So those are the only couple of movies I've seen lately. Let's see, what else do I have to talk to you about that you might be interested in? Comic books. Yes, I've been reading comic books. A lot of good comic books out there. Just one thing that I wanted to point out is a couple that you probably aren't reading but should, and they are from Dynamite. The first one is The Shadow. They're doing this series now. It is really good. Garth Ennis, Aaron Campbell, they've been doing a really good job. I've enjoyed the artwork, the writing, the storyline. I'm really interested to see what they're doing with the character. I think I've mentioned this new series on a couple of my past blogs, but they've taken the Shadow, and he's back in the 30s, 40s again, and they've changed his powers somewhat to where instead of being psionic powers,